VoyageVault presents the mysteries behind one of the new 7 wonders of the world, the magnificent Machu Picchu. Nestled high in the Andes Mountains of Peru, Machu Picchu stands as an iconic marvel of ancient Incan engineering and culture. This citadel in the clouds has captured imaginations worldwide, yet much of its history remains shrouded in mystery. In this video, we will explore 5 fascinating facets of Machu Picchu's past. We'll uncover clues about its construction, inhabitants, abandonment, rediscovery, and restoration. Machu Picchu has solidified its status as the crown jewel of Incan ruins and a must-see destination for adventurers and historians alike. So join us as we trek through the centuries to reveal the intriguing history behind this ancient citadel in the sky, Machu Picchu. The discovery of Machu Picchu. For centuries, Machu Picchu remained a secret hidden in plain sight, known only to local indigenous peoples living near the ancient Incan citadel. But in 1911, an intrepid explorer named Hiram Bingham changed everything by introducing Machu Picchu to the outside world. Bingham, a historian and archaeologist from Yale University, had been searching for the legendary lost city of the Incas during an expedition to Peru. Guided by local farmers, he trekked through the Andes Mountains to a ridge overlooking the Urubamba River Valley. There he encountered an amazing sight: expansive ruins covered in dense vegetation perched atop a mountain ridge, with impressive agricultural terraces carved into its steep slopes. Though local residents were aware of the ruins, they were largely untouched and unrecognized by the outside world. Bingham immediately recognized the significance of this discovery and set about photographing and surveying the site, which covered over 5 square miles. He returned in 1912 and 1915 for more extensive excavations and research. The photographs and accounts of this lost city of the Incas captured international attention and the public's imagination. National Geographic covered Bingham's discoveries, calling Machu Picchu the greatest archaeological find of the age. Initially, Bingham theorized that Machu Picchu was the legendary capital city of the last Inca ruler Vilcabamba, where the Incas made their final stronghold against Spanish invaders. His theories sparked waves of intrigue about Machu Picchu and the fate of the Inca Empire. However, in reality, Machu Picchu was likely built as an estate for the Inca Emperor Pachacuti in the mid-15th century, serving as a small mountain retreat and not a true urban center. But Bingham's grandiose initial assumptions resonated with the public and cemented Machu Picchu's reputation as the mythical lost city of the Incas. While Bingham's archaeological methods were crude and colonialist by today's standards, his work bringing Machu Picchu to the world's attention was pivotal. It led to future generations preserving and studying these magnificent ruins. By shining a spotlight on Machu Picchu, Bingham rescued this masterpiece of Incan engineering from being reclaimed by the jungle and lost to history. His expedition marks the pivotal transition of Machu Picchu from a local secret to an iconic global treasure. The intrepid explorer's fascination with uncovering the mysteries of Peru led him to one of the greatest archaeological discoveries of all time. His initial photographs and descriptions electrified the world, setting Machu Picchu on a path towards becoming a UNESCO World Heritage Site and one of the new 7 wonders of the world. Hiram Bingham unlocked the secret of Machu Picchu for the outside world to appreciate and explore. Historical context and Inca Empire. To fully appreciate the magnificence of Machu Picchu, we must understand the world in which it was built, the height of the Inca Empire in the 15th century. The Incas were the largest pre-Columbian empire in the Americas, reigning over 10 million people along the Andean mountain spine. The empire stretched over 2,500 miles from Colombia to Chile. Machu Picchu was constructed around 1450 AD during the reign of Inca Emperor Pachacuti, who transformed the empire into a wealthy, highly organized state. Pachacuti likely built Machu Picchu as a royal estate and retreat away from the imperial capital of Cusco. The remote, mountainous site provided him with a peaceful sanctuary and gave him command over the Urubamba Valley below, an agricultural heartland. Unlike other ancient cities, Machu Picchu was not meant to be a populous urban center but rather a small palace complex housing about 750 people. The location and layout strongly suggest it was built as an exclusive residence for Emperor Pachacuti and his royal court. There is evidence that after Pachacuti's death, his son may have used Machu Picchu as a ceremonial site to commune with his father's spirit. Machu Picchu exemplifies the incredible engineering and construction skills of the Incas. They built the complex without mortar, fitting the blocks together perfectly. The structures were reinforced to withstand frequent earthquakes. Advanced hydraulic systems provided running water and irrigation for agriculture. Settlements were positioned to align with astronomical events and the sun's movements. The citadel was a self-contained city with a royal section, servants' quarters, temples, storage rooms, fountains, and farming areas. Its terraces and stone channels were designed for growing crops like maize, potatoes, and coca leaf. Steep stairs connected different levels, facilitating foot traffic through the mountaintop complex. Machu Picchu also reveals the religious and ceremonial significance of the site. Temples, shrines, and solar alignment features suggest it was a sacred landscape for honoring gods like the solar deity Inti. The setting, nestled between mountains and split by the Urubamba River, would have been revered in Inca spirituality. The Inca made no use of the wheel and had no written language. Yet they managed to construct elaborate stone cities high in the Andes with no mortar, a remarkable accomplishment of engineering and labor organization. Machu Picchu stands as a masterpiece demonstrating the heights of Inca civilization before its ultimate fall to Spanish invaders. The architecture of Machu Picchu. The design and layout of Machu Picchu showcase sophisticated Inca architecture, agriculture, astronomy, and spirituality. The citadel was an integrated complex divided into urban and agricultural sectors. The urban areas housed nobility, priests, and attendants in structures ranging from royal dwellings to temples. This central part of Machu Picchu includes two key plazas, the Main Plaza and Sacred Plaza. The Main Plaza features the Temple of the Sun, an intricately built semicircular structure honoring the sun god Inti. Nearby is the Room of the Three Windows, likely used for astronomical observation or rituals. The Sacred Plaza houses the Temple of the Condor, named for a carved rock at its base. The plaza's most revered structure is the Intihuatana, a sculpted granite pillar used by Inca priests for sun-based rituals. The Intihuatana's shape allowed it to precisely point out the sun's location during solstices. Just outside the Sacred Plaza lies an area known as the Royal Sector, with lavish dwellings likely for Inca nobles and Emperor Pachacuti himself. The houses have trapezoidal doorways, sculptures, and carefully molded stone walls. Between the plazas and royal residences are ceremonial baths and fountains, providing spiritual purification in this sacred landscape. Aqueducts directed mountain springs to flow through the complex. Meanwhile, the extensive agricultural terraces clinging to the mountain slopes supplied the population with food. These terraces maximized planting area for crops like maize, potatoes, and quinoa. Built-in stone channels brought water to nourish the terrace gardens. Many structures in the urban sector have alignments with astronomical events like solstices and constellations. The Temple of the Sun perfectly aligns with the sun during the winter solstice. The Intihuatana pillar points directly at the sun during the spring and fall equinoxes. The positioning, carvings, and construction of Machu Picchu's buildings reflect the high level of significance astronomy, spirituality, and ceremony held in Inca culture. The harmony between structures, agriculture, and the natural landscape is a testament to Inca engineering capabilities. Machu Picchu stands as a monument to Inca sophistication, culture, and reverence for the natural world. Cultural significance and mysteries. Machu Picchu's remote mountaintop setting, spiritual structures, and alignment with astronomical events reveal its cultural significance as a ceremonial and religious retreat for Inca leadership. However, many mysteries still surround its ultimate purpose and demise. The ruins offer clues but no complete answers, leaving Machu Picchu's riddles to capture the imagination of historians and visitors alike. Most evidence suggests Machu Picchu was used primarily as a country palace and spiritual retreat for Emperor Pachacuti and later Inca leaders. The region's sacred landscape and cosmic alignments with the sun and stars gave the location divine importance for the Incas. Ceremonies and rituals conducted by high priests likely involved offerings to the gods and communication with ancestors. Sacred sites and temples throughout the citadel provided space for honoring key gods like Inti, the sun god. When the Spanish invaded in the 1530s, conquering the Inca civilization, Machu Picchu appears to have been abandoned. Some theories suggest its residents fled from the threat of Spanish invasion, retreating deep into the jungle to hide. Its location was remote and difficult to access, allowing it to escape looting and destruction. One theory proposes that some of Machu Picchu's residents were actually taken back to Cusco by the Spanish as prisoner slaves. Other historians believe the city was already deserted before Pizarro's conquest due to disease, famine, or other forces. Damage from heavy rainfall flooding key access routes may have forced abandonment. Ongoing conflict between the Inca ruler Huasca and his half-brother Atahualpa in the 1530s, just before the Spanish arrived, may have also led Machu Picchu to be deserted. The debate continues around exactly why Machu Picchu was left intact while other Inca cities fell to the Spanish plunder. Adding to the mystery is how the remnants of Machu Picchu managed to lay undisturbed for over 400 years. While known locally, it remained largely hidden from the outside world until Hiram Bingham's rediscovery in 1911. Was its seclusion pure geographical chance? Or did a code of secrecy among indigenous locals protect its sacred ruins from outsiders? Some propose that descendants of Machu Picchu's original residents continued to quietly inhabit the area and obscure it from colonial powers. Some mystique also surrounds the capacity in which Machu Picchu was used. Due to its small size and elite structures, it likely was not a true full-time urban settlement but rather a seasonal royal court for leaders, priests, and chosen attendants. Yet estimates of up to 750 residents at a time make its original population unclear. Even the full original extent of Machu Picchu's structures and terraces remains ambiguous, as a significant portion of the site has been reclaimed by jungle overgrowth. Bingham's excavations were limited and flawed by his untrained archaeological approach. This leaves many stonework remains unexplored by archaeologists. Remote sensing technology and satellite imagery have revealed new sections, but much remains buried under vegetation. Ultimately, the complete purpose and story of Machu Picchu may be lost to the ages. But it is the enduring awe of mystery surrounding these ruins that helps spark human imagination about the site. The citadel's unknown elements provoke reflection about Inca civilization and invite us to ponder the meaning behind its magnificence. Even modern archaeologists cannot fully unravel the complex history of Machu Picchu and why certain decisions were made in its planning, construction, and abandonment. As an awe-inspiring time capsule from the Inca Empire, Machu Picchu represents both cultural brilliance and historical mystery. We can appreciate its astronomical, agricultural, and architectural sophistication while accepting that gaps will always exist in our full understanding. Machu Picchu's enigmatic history is part of what makes it a sacred place worth learning from and preserving for generations to come. The unanswered questions leave space for our collective imagination and sense of wonder about this lost civilization. Preservation and tourism. Since its revelation to the wider world, Machu Picchu has become a major destination for archaeologists and tourists alike. But its rise in popularity and fragile nature require careful preservation to protect the site for future generations. Soon after Hiram Bingham's excavations, Peru's government took steps to conserve Machu Picchu as an important cultural heritage site for the nation. Additional scientific studies and conservation measures ramped up later in the 20th century. In 1983, Machu Picchu was designated a UNESCO World Heritage Site for its immense cultural significance and need for international protection. UNESCO called it an absolute masterpiece of architecture and a unique testimony to the Inca civilization. As part of the World Heritage listing, the Peruvian government agreed to several preservation stipulations. Access roads were improved to direct tourists away from the fragile ruins. Caps were placed on daily visitor numbers. Motorized vehicles were banned from the Machu Picchu estate to reduce damage and landslides. Guards were stationed to protect the site. However, the UNESCO honor also cemented Machu Picchu as a major tourist destination. Each year over 1.5 million people flock to see Peru's most famous attraction, putting strain on the delicate ruins. Managing this tourist influx has been an ongoing challenge between boosting the local economy and ensuring conservation. In the 2010s, new time-slot ticketing and timed entry at Machu Picchu aimed to control crowds. The Inca Trail required advance bookings to limit traffic. Hotels and restaurants were restricted from overflowing the small nearby town of Aguas Calientes. But demand continues to rise for this new seventh wonder of the world. Recently, Peruvian authorities have restricted commercial flights to the small local airport and placed new bans on hospitality development in the Machu Picchu district. They aim to cap visitors at under 3,000 per day and the town population to under 8,000. Preservation experts recommend implementing carrying capacities, rotating access schedules, and extended site closures. Some parts remain off-limits to visitors, like the Temple of the Sun, to reduce human impact. The long-term hope is for a sustainable visitor model at Machu Picchu, one that protects the enigmatic ruins, supports local communities, and allows ethical access to this wonder. With strategic planning and cooperation, Machu Picchu can be experienced for generations while safeguarding its integrity as a sacred cultural artifact. The drive to uncover hidden histories brought Machu Picchu to the world stage. Now the site's future relies on carefully balancing enthusiasm for its mysteries with responsible stewardship. If successful, these ancient stones may echo with stories from Inca glory and traveler or for centuries more. Machu Picchu beautifully represents the pinnacle of Inca civilization and continues to captivate visitors from around the world. In this video, we explored the history behind its construction, abandonment, eventual rediscovery, and rise as an iconic World Heritage Site. While many mysteries remain about this ancient citadel, its magnificence and cultural significance are undeniable. We hope you enjoyed learning about Machu Picchu's intriguing past and present. Be sure to subscribe to the VoyageVault channel for more virtual adventures uncovering cultural treasures worldwide.